Thank you, Eva. Thank you for joining me. We are doing this video as part of our advocacy curriculum as the public policy and advocacy team. So please begin by introducing yourself and telling us what you do at the foundation.
Thanks, Rhoda. My name is Evallyne Sikuku. I work in EGPAF. I've been working in EGPAF for the last around 4 years. And I work as an SIE advisor, but in charge of data management. Yeah, so that's my specialty, but I work within the SIE department.
Can you tell us a little bit more about your focus area? What exactly do you do on a day-to-day basis?
So the main things that I would do on a day-to-day basis, one would be just looking through the data that comes in on a routine basis from the program, from the M&D officers that are supporting EGPAF at the facility level, at the sub-county level, just reviewing this data so that we can be able to pick insights that would inform the program in areas that they are either performing well or not performing well, so that they can be able to go back and intervene to be able to help the organization meet the required objectives as laid down by the donor.
Right.
So that's basically, that's what I do, but yeah.
All right, thank you, Eva. So we're just going to jump into the two questions that we will be talking about for this video today. First, can you start by telling us what is monitoring and evaluation?
Yeah. I know there's usually, when people hear about monitoring and evaluation, one is people who have not maybe worked with organizations that do a bit of monitoring and evaluation. It's a bit of confusion, but it's a very simple thing. Monitoring, evaluation. First of all, I want us to separate the two words because they have an importance within the whole project cycle. So monitoring is the systematic data collection that would be used to measure the program performance routinely. And the importance of this is it would help the organization be able to see whether they are on track towards achieving the objective. So the word here is systematic data collection, yeah, within specific time frames to help the program be able to see whether they are on track towards achieving the laid down objectives. Yeah.
So that is monitoring and evaluation.
Then evaluation. Yes, and then there's yeah. Then evaluation. So evaluation is also it's systematic, but usually evaluation tries to measure, like you are measuring whether the organization is meeting the outcomes. Yeah. So, for example, I think I would like to bring in a bit of example. There's usually baseline evaluation. So, baseline evaluation, you want to see where you are as an organization. Then there's midterm evaluation. After implementing several processes, you want to see whether, as an organization, through evaluation, are you on track towards meeting the outcomes. So it's either outcomes or impact. It's a bit long term, but and the difference is monitoring is more routine, and then evaluation is a bit more spread out within a project life cycle.
Thanks, Eva. So for purposes of our curriculum, can you please tell us why it is important for people who are doing advocacy work to monitor and evaluate their work?
Yeah, advocacy, M&D for advocacy. I think it's quite interesting how monitoring and evaluation can be implemented within an advocacy program or project. Because one, I know within advocacy, there is a lot of qualitative work that goes towards a project meeting the laid down maybe objectives. And therefore, it's important for any advocacy project, when you are doing monitoring, you'll be able to, for example, you'll be able to see how many meetings you have had with your stakeholders, Yeah, so that's one way you can be able to do monitoring. How many meetings have you had with your stakeholders? And maybe even just by using of surveys, you can be able to measure, is there any change, yeah, within their mindset in terms of the objectives you've been trying to meet when you're passing information to them. There is also the bit of policy implementation. I know within monitoring, you'll be able to know like how many meetings did I have with the stakeholders for this policy to come out. Yeah, because I know for advocacy, in most cases, maybe you want to change a policy, implement a new policy, and you require a lot of such meetings to be able to have the policy implemented. So just looking at the number of meetings alone, that is part of monitoring. Yeah, looking at the costs, because even costs, like looking at how much money has been used in setting up meetings, that would also get into the monitoring, because you'd be able to do, was it cost effective? Whatever meetings we had, were they cost effective? And did we meet our laid down objective?
Finally, Eva, would you say that monitoring and evaluation should be intimidating to people who don't consider themselves M&E specialists, or is it not intimidating?
Yeah, I think people feel intimidated when they're maybe when you bring out the very complex data analysis, but monitoring doesn't have to be complex. Even just trying to monitor, like for example, the number of meetings you are holding, the type of stakeholders you are meeting, you know, then if it's trainings, the number of trainings you've had, you see, that's all monitoring that you are doing. So it doesn't have to be intimidating. So I think the best is just to know what is your objective and which activities do I need to implement to meet my objective. Then just monitor if you're implementing the activities as laid down. It can be as simple as that.
All right. Thank you so much, Eva.
Thank you to Rhoda.